show with breaking news. The Chicago Bears taking a major step toward building a stadium in Hammond, Indiana. Good afternoon. I'm Dina Baer. The Chicago Bears Board of Directors apparently voted to advance its stadium development project in Hammond, Indiana. A statement from team chairman George H. McCaskey and president and CEO Kevin Warren shows an exact site is still to be selected. It adds they believe a world-class stadium project in Hammond will transform the region. Indiana Governor Mike Braun issued a statement very happy, saying in part, quote, "Hoosiers, help me welcome the Chicago Bears to our great state. We look forward to building a partnership as strong as the '85 Bears defense, creating opportunities and economic growth that will benefit our state and the Bears organization for decades to come."
Wow. All right, folks. So, I mean, this is, if there is no other example of how blue states just fumble the ball, I mean, total failures. Okay. Illinois politicians have fumbled a deal with endless taxes, regulations, and incompetence. And now they have pushed this franchise out of the state. Wow. And people are pissed. Take a look. This is clip one.
Mm-hmm. Unemployment rate has been steady at 4.3%. The black unemployment rate has been 7.3%. When you ran for president, you quoted black voters and talked about.
I'm sorry, clip six. Clip six.
My whole life, and I don't think it's right.
What do you have to say to leadership?
I think everybody in Illinois' politics, government should be fired. Pritzker, Brandon Johnson. How do you let the pride and joy of Illinois walk away? It's crazy.
It's crazy. And I'm not even, a Bears fan, but I know that this is, I mean, they were iconic with Chicago. Nicole, what are your thoughts here?
Dina, when you think about losing an iconic team to a neighboring suburb, there's a whole problem. Everybody in Chicago politics has a little bit to bear, quote unquote, I hate to use the double entendre, a little bit to bear in losing this team. But I wish them well in Indiana. I hope they do great things there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shelley, what are your thoughts here? I mean, people in the Bears fans are pissed about this.
Yeah. As much as this is an icon, a fans-based, event or arena, this also has economic impacts. So I'm going to start off with saying, give Chicagoans their money back. Let me tell you why I said that. Because stadiums, this Soldiers Field, it still has a debt of almost $500 million that the Chicago taxpayers will still be on the hook for. So this stadium was built like many stadiums around the country. They're built with taxpayer funds, bonds, all kinds of public-private, financing. And there were supposed to be jobs. Of course, I'm sure they've had jobs along the way. Jobs, feeder businesses, all those things. Well, the Chicago residents are going to lose out on that. Those businesses are going to lose. So not only is it going to be an economic impact directly to the taxpayers, but the businesses that even surrounded and supported the stadium are going to most likely falter to some degree, also impacting other employment opportunities and other businesses. So this is a net loss, bigly, okay, to the tune of billions of dollars probably after the bill has been written, that the taxpayers will still owe, and they won't have a stadium to show for it.
Yeah. Can I jump in here, KJ? One of the political things that we should really consider with this is that the bill to fund the new stadium, the bill to support the Chicago Bears, 100 years in Chicago, the Chicago Bears did not advance through their house. It just did not. The session is over. They're like, oh, well, gargle schmel, what are you going to do? And guess what? The Bears organization said, we're tired of begging. We're tired of begging. The Democrats were saying too much of the public money was going to be used for this quote unquote private team. They're not looking at the greater implication of, like Shelley is talking about, all of the other industries, all of the cottage industries that are built up around that. And then you have the Republicans saying, we're staring down the barrel of financial ruin. We really are. All of this means that the unions and these retirement plans that the city of Chicago have to fund are killing them. absolutely killing them. They have so much debt barreling at them. Their bond rating is absolutely going to take a hit because having the Bears there was one of the things that could have helped them dig their way out of this debt. But now that it's going to be, as someone in the chat said, the Hoosier Bears, what are they going to do? That's not going anywhere, but you lost one of the veins of revenue to help you support this debt that you're coming to, simply because you refuse to advance the bill. And I don't blame the organization for packing up their stuff and moving. I don't blame them one bit.
Absolutely. And we know it's a business decision. I mean, Chicago, Illinois, has high taxes. They have a slow bureaucracy, and it's one party control. Okay, so they lost out to Indiana's aggressiveness. All right, and you both have mentioned, have said this. I mean, these people. This is the story of a lot of what happens in these blue cities. Okay, they want to tax people to the wazoo. All right, and the Bears are voting with their feet. It mirrors companies and residents that have been fleeing not just Chicago and Illinois, but here in Baltimore and the state of Maryland. They're fleeing for redder pastures with lower taxes and pro-growth policies. It's as simple as that. All right. And so oh my gosh, this is, I guess I'm more annoyed than usual, because as we were starting the show, we heard, I see here about what's going on in California. And again, it's sort of like, it's along the same lines. Folks, have you been following this primary in California? Breaking news. So primary night, the governor, the Republican, what's his name?
Hilton.
I have the Republican candidate was in the lead.
Steve Hilton.
Hilton, right. Well, surprise, surprise, they're still counting ballots, which they say isn't going to be completed until July, which is crazy. And of course, now the Democrat has jumped to the lead. This is ridiculous. I would never vote in California again. And you guys may be upset about me saying that. What? I mean, this is such a huge disenfranchisement that we don't know who is the clear winner the same night, primary night, not even the morning after. And then days go by and now the whole thing has changed. I would never vote in California again. Nicole, what are your thoughts?
Listen, there's a reason why it takes them so long to count ballots. Here's an issue. If you know how many ballots your team needs to win, and you have this magical way of producing votes, simply printing a ballot for a voter who thinks, I'm not voting. They think like you, KJ, my vote don't count. If I were in California and I was a low propensity voter, I would probably check my voting record to see how many elections I voted in that I didn't actually cast a ballot. This sounds a lot like a class action lawsuit against the state of California. They should definitely take a look into it, but they've been cheating with mail-in ballots since the beginning of time. Very much so. You sound like Trumpers when he quote unquote lost to Joe Biden, right? When we had operatives calling in from Georgia saying, oh, we need 200,000 ballots. Well, I've got 250,000 ballots in the backseat of my car and I'm on my way. Really? How would you know how those voters voted? How would you know of those 250,000 ballots that you're bringing in that all of them were for the Democrat candidate? Mail-in balloting has to stop. For military people, great. But for everyone else, we need one day, election day, not election season, not election month, one day where America casts its ballot. If you cannot make it to your polling place, this is where your party comes in. Let your party know that your polling place is too far from your home. Too far from your home. I don't know. Both political parties would pick your butt up and take you to the polling place if you wanted to vote. Make no mistake, they'd send a friend. There'd be a bus. They'd build a polling center closer to where the people are. But mailing ballots to people's homes does not work. Here in Maryland, we got 1 million ballots floating around and hoping for the best. It's ridiculous.
It's
absolutely ridiculous.
Shelley, what are your thoughts here?
Well, I disagree. Mailing ballots does work. When you mail them to the people's homes, whether they ask for or not, it works, because this is how you get the ballot creep after the election. So that's how I think it does work in that direction. That's number one. And let me tell y'all this. I'm going to say something, and I know y'all going to get, like you're going to maybe be out your seat when I say this, okay? I'm blaming everybody. Back to 2020 specifically, when the shutdown, the lockdown, the 2 weeks, the slow the spread started under our dear President Trump, that year when mail-in ballots took off, okay? I'm not blaming Trump directly. I'm blaming the politicians, if you will, in that administration. And you give the government an inch, hell, they're going to take it for as long as that yard or more can go. So that's why I'm indirectly and maybe sometime directly blaming the Trump administration under 2020, because that was the pivotal start of all of these creeping ballots, lying, cheating, stealing, to the exponential degree. And now we are in this damn pot that we seem to not be able to get out of, not even to mention the Save America Act, okay? But this is what I'm just upset about the government in general. If you want to call me anti-government tonight, I don't give a damn. Maybe I am. But I'm sick of our government working against us. And I don't care who's in office. I don't care what the party, red or blue, R or D. If you are anti or doing things that are anti-American, you have my ire.
Right. Well, I agree. Now, I will give a little grace, because although I did not agree with most of the rules and regulations that were done during the scam-demic, okay, it was something that had never occurred before. People were, taking emergency rules and things like that. So I can sort of understand them putting certain things in place during an emergency, but it's over. It's done. And they continue to do this. And I can't blame Trump. He's trying to fix it, but we have rhinos in office that are pushing back against it. And that takes us to this, the SAVE Act. So folks, we've been talking about this for months now. The SAVE Act, President Trump has been trying to get this passed. He's been pushing Congress to pass it. It failed in the Senate a couple months ago. They now recently tried to put it back out. This is image 4, and it failed again. The plan was to put it out during reconciliation, so it would somehow try to get it passed via the budget, and it failed in the Senate. Democrats blocked it via filibuster before, and then yesterday it failed as an amendment to an immigration DHS funding package, and 4 Republicans joined Democrats in opposition. They tanked it. They tanked it, Nicole. What are your thoughts?
It was, I hate to say it, but it was expected. It was absolutely expected. I would have been thoroughly flabbergasted if it had passed. It would have been like a unicorn dropping $1 million on my front lawn if this thing had passed. Here's the thing. We need better leadership in the Senate. Nothing against Senator Thune, but there's a way to kind of bring the parties in, the voters in, your caucus in, and letting them know what needs to be done. Now, there are some Republicans who are awful angry with the president because of his tremendous effort to reshape that body, to oppose some people who were very popular, like Senator Cornyn, and back their challengers. One thing we know about people who've been in power for a long time, and yet 6 years per term in the Senate, is they no longer think they work for the people. They think the seat belongs to them. So imagine yourself one of these people who say, this seat belongs to me and I am the end all be all. And here comes Donald Trump, quote unquote, a lame duck president. He cannot be reelected again. And he's taking out your favorite people. You feel some kind of way. What can you do? What could you do to hurt this president? Signature legislation, this Save America Act would have been, out of all the things that President Trump has done that has been absolutely tremendous, absolutely, this Save America Act would have been his signature legislation, like Obamacare, the ACA, we still call it Obamacare. It was Obama's signature legislation. So for them, this is an inch of, we told you who we are. You effed around and now you're finding out. But what they don't understand is the people that they're screwing is the American people. They're hurting us in ways that we can't even begin to imagine. So I agree with Elon Musk when he says they got to go. They got to go.
Yeah, Shelley. I mean, 4 Republicans voted against it. It was Susan Collins of Maine, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, and Tom Tillis of North Carolina.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
It's a travesty. It's a, as they used to say, it's a sin and a shame, right? It is, because they're hurting Americans, number one. However, let's add a comma, because we still would have needed, I think, 4 more votes to make that 60 threshold that's needed for this vote to have passed. So we still
because it was because they were trying to pass it through the budget reconciliation.
But we still so we had 52 or 51. Is that what it was?
We would have needed 51.
Right. 51. Okay. Right. So we came. So it was down to 48. Is that what the final vote was? So So we still needed those people. We definitely needed those people. But to get it out of the Senate, we're going to need 60. Is that if I'm understanding it correctly? Not through reconciliation. Is that what
not through reconciliation? Okay. Because now it becomes a budget line issue. And that was Senator Kennedy's stroke of genius that he's been working on for months.
Got it. Well, this is what I say. Mr. Smith goes to Washington, he must be turning in his grave, okay? Because these people, by and large, and again, I guess right now, I'm just pissed. I'm pissed. Of course, I'm pissed with the damn Democrats, the leftists, but I've been pissed with our party, and now it's kind of like up to here, okay? For the last year or so, I've been like, okay, trying to modulate it and look at it a different way, and maybe I had to rethink some things, but I'm tired of that, okay? As are 80+% of Americans. We are tired of always having to kind of take the L. We're sick of it, because we never get what we are due. Not only what we are due, what they are obligated to do is work in our best interest. We never get that. I'm sick of these people. I'm sick of these titles. Someone said in the chat, they have egos. You're right. Power, the ego that comes with power, particularly too long, when you have no real challenge, I guess. We're sick of it. Americans are tired. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of hoping. I'm tired of just be American, be gracious, and, sick of it. And I would like to take a constitution and literally slap all of them, just line them up and slap them and walk them out the damn Senate chamber. Sick of it. And that goes for the House too, if you're on my list.
Yeah, I agree. It's a disgraceful betrayal is what it is, folks. It's a disgraceful betrayal because, one, the polls show massive support for this act. Okay. Election integrity, it's Trump's top priority. It makes sense. It's common sense. And we are at a crossroads because right now we've seen the Democrats. They tried to just totally change this country with the open borders, and they haven't given up on that. They're going to continue to try to do that. We see what's going on in California and other states across this country. They're trying to steal the countries and lessen the trust and, again, the integrity in our institutions. And I mean, Nicole, you're always, the voice of sort of reason. And I don't understand what we do about this. I really don't. I mean, we vote them out, but it seems like they're not getting out of office fast enough.
Well, people aren't voting these particular people out. And this is what we talk about in politics, name ID. You may be an absolute piece of shit, like we're talking about now in the chat. You may be a legislator who has lost their way, but you've been sitting in the Senate for 3 terms, which means 18 years you've been on this job. 18 years. You're Mitch McConnell. You've been sitting there forever and ever. You're mad at the president. How dare he be successful? How dare he do this? So what do? If you can be a kink in the chain, be the kink in the chain, because history won't remember Mitch McConnell. History will remember that the Save America Act did not pass under Donald Trump. Again, this is them getting their lick back. So what do the American people do? Instead of, saying, you know what, like Shelley's saying, always carrying the L, always holding the bag. Like LJ said in the chat, he reached out to a senator 3 times. There are lots of people who've lobbied these senators. And when I tell you, if you've been in your seat more than 2 terms, you don't give a damn what people call in your office. You don't care about the emails. They'll tell you, oh yeah, but the little teenager from constituent services is going to send you a form email going, thank you very much for reaching out to Senator Lisa Murkowski. The senator really takes your things into consideration. They'll send you one of those every single time that you send them an email. Here's the strategy. What do? You have to elect people who shut people like her down. This means not voting for the person who's kind of red. You need to find you the most conservative person you can and make sure that person's elected in your state. This is how you get that back. You have to keep your foot on the pedal for your own area. Lisa Murkowski doesn't give a damn that Nicole Bennett and Shelley E. and KJ are mad at her because she's a,
coward
Republican, barely a Republican. She checked the R box and forgot what the party stands for. They don't care that people are mad. They don't care. We don't have enough skin in the game as a citizen to knock them off that peg. What do? We're going to have to come for their necks. We're going to have to pull a full-on Donald Trump and support primary challenges. That means writing checks, sending text messages for candidates, calling for candidates. It's going to cost you a couple of hours of your time. I can tell you, you can send about 10,000 texts an hour. Easy.
Can I just vent a little bit, just like 2 minutes, I guess, 2 minutes for the American people. I'm sorry, I'm not presuming to speak for you, so I'm speaking for myself, but I'm thinking this might resonate. You know how you've ever been, or you may know people who they've been down in a ditch for so long, right? No matter what they do, they're working hard, they're trying to scrimp and scrape. They try to get a little bit and then they get knocked back down, right? You know people like that, or maybe, you all have experienced that to some degree. But then let's take the government. The government keeps knocking them down and they get back up, they knock them down again. They get back up, knock them down again. Then the government gives you whatever it is. They pass whatever bill they pass, and then they want all this applause. Like you're supposed to just cheer them on. Fuck no. Fuck that, okay? You have screwed people for so long, okay? All they want to do is put their head above the water, if you will, catch a breath. They don't want to keep getting pushed down. And then you want to give applause for the mess and the poop and the muck and mire that you kept pushing them down in, when all you had to do was your damn job from the beginning, and maybe at least half of that would not have had to have happened. And then you want to ask for more? No, fuck no. The American people, well, Shelley E., on behalf of the American people, we are sick of it. Sick and tired of it.
Well, folks, we're in a battle for America. All right. This is not just a catchy slogan anymore. This is real life. We are in a battle for America. All right. And we got to start standing up. It's still we the people. All right. I think a lot of us have forgot that. We the people still have the power, but you don't have it if you don't use it. All right. So we have the power if we use it, and we got to start using it. Rise up and vote these rhinos out of office. We got to vote them out.
Yep.
All right. Folks, sound off in the chat. Let us know what you think. I am pissed off about this. I'm pissed off about this SAVE Act, and I'm pissed off about California and their cheating ways. They cheat, they're frauds. And I'm sick of it. I just feel like sometimes these people are not getting caught. They're not they're not being put to accountability, taking account for their actions. I don't know.
Don't be late on your taxes on April the 15th. Don't miss them. All right, we got some super chatters here. Thank Thank you for your super chats tonight, everybody. We appreciate your support, your hard work, and you sharing your earnings with us. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for that. Thanks for the wonderful work you ladies provided. You're very much needed. Thank you so much for your support, Paul. Who else do we have here tonight? We have Jessica. Hi, Jessica.
Jessica.
Yesterday morning, about 10 a.m., they reported that 57%, almost 60% of the votes are in, and by 4 p.m., they reported that 55% of the votes are in a 4.1% drop in votes in 6 hours. Yeah, it's ballot creep, mission creep, ballot creep, whatever. It always is phony. Yeah, it is. They are cheating. You know what? People say, follow the data. The data doesn't lie. Well, data and numbers can be manipulated. The data doesn't lie. The data says that when mail-in ballots come in, Republicans lose, if you will, and Democrats win. Yeah, the data does show that. But look at how it's manipulated behind the damn scenes to get that. Okay, no, you don't trust any data, carte blanche, prima facie. You need to investigate a little bit more, have some corroborating information. And the corroborating information is this. How is it only that when it happens, it only goes in that direction? How is that? You can't even do that statistically, dropping a damn quarter on heads and tails.
Exactly. And then when you think about, one, the number of dead people who are voting, two, the number of people who don't vote. And I keep saying this, people who don't vote, who have pristine voting records. They're 4-4 voters, but they might cast a ballot once every 10 years. How does that happen? Mail-in ballot. That's how that happens. My nephew hasn't lived in Maryland for at least 6 years. I get ballots for him all the time. All the time. And it makes me crazy because I know what I'm going to do with it. But imagine yourself an operative or somebody who's an activist, or you feel strongly some kind of way, or you don't like a certain candidate. Now you have an opportunity to impact an election that's highly illegal. But when was the last time they locked somebody's ass up for this kind of election fraud? Oh, they drag them. You got to go to court and, you get your little slap on the wrist, maybe a little fine, all of that. We have got to get very serious about securing our elections. It happens all of the time in blue places. It happens sometimes in red places. We have got to get a handle on who votes in this nation and how they vote. This mail-in ballot
I'm at the point now where I just want to get out of these leftist bastions. I really do. Let them have it. Let them have it with the homeless, with the drug addicts, with the Somalis taking over the social services in these states. Let them have it. And let the Patriots consolidate on somewhere else. This is where I am, because I don't even know how this is going to get fixed. I really don't. I am to the point now where I am just like, let them rot on the soil that they are on, and we all move to other areas. We move to the red states because this is what they do. What many of them, and I've seen it here in Maryland, where they will leave Maryland, complain about the high taxes, the crime here, and move to red states and then vote like a leftist. This is what they do. So we gotta get up there before they do, and just let them have these. Let the other places go to shit. This is what I believe. But folks, sound off in the chat and let us know what you think. Folks, if you don't know, this is Pop and Politics. This is our Friday night live. As you come in, hit that like button. It helps to get this video out in front of a wider audience, and we appreciate the support. Also, your super chats go a long way in keeping us online. As you can see, we are smart, edgy, and conservative. I think we're the based, where they say people are based. We're the most based YouTube channel on YouTube, okay? But I have a bias there. But yes, come on in, hit that like button and subscribe. All right. And also, we are not just we're smart, edgy, and conservative, but we also love this country. We love it so much that we have merch to show it. Take a look at this video. What's up, everybody? This is Pop and Politics. Get your merch. Are you a Pop and Politics fan? Are you unapologetically American? Or not black, not white American? We got it all for you right here. Get your merch.
Get the classic shirt. Classic. Goes with everything. Comes in a variety of colors. smart, edgy, conservative, like us, like you. This is a great way to support the channel. Click the merch button.
There is no shame in being an American. Get your shirt today and be unapologetic about it. Get your shirt, wear it, and be a proud American.
You can get it all in t-shirts and hoodies. You can get it in stickers, on bags. You can get it all on our website, metroconservativemedia.com, or our YouTube page, Pop and Politics, and tag over to store. You can get your merch and show you're proud to be an American and support Pop and Politics. All right. And you folks, the best merchandise that we have right now is our A250 shirts, folks. Look at that. These are the shirts that Nicole, I'm sorry, you go ahead and talk about it.
KJ always stealing my line when it comes to this shirt. It is a nice shirt. I will say that. Listen, we are partying. Yes, we have some challenges in this nation now. Yes, we're trying to right the culture. But in the meantime, our great nation is 250 years old, and everybody born under these stars and stripes should be celebrating. This is the shirt to wear. Listen, not black, not white, American. Don't let them divide us. Should be the story of this election season. Absolutely. We have it on a mug as well. It can catch some liberal tears, or you could use it to fill it up with some good vodka on nights like tonight when you're mad about them cheating in elections. It makes a fantastic Father's Day gift. Get it now so you have it delivered to your house on time for Father's Day. Regardless of what your father's politics are, your husband, your side piece, your boo thing, this is the gift. We almost broke the internet a couple of weeks ago with these sales. We need you guys to come through. It's a great way to support the channel and collect some good Americana on the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I believe we have some additional supers.
Yeah, let me smuggle it. Because this print is tonight. These lights are getting on my nerves tonight. Okay, everybody, let's see your super chats. We have a few more here, producers. All right, we'll come back to the super chat.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Couture Leotards. Thank you for your $5. Warren Buffett says if the national deficit exceeds 3% of GDP, all sitting members of Congress should immediately become ineligible for re-election. I'll sign that one. Who else do we have? We have Couture again. Thank you for your $10. We are not fighting for America. The forefathers did very well fighting for that. We are fighting for the winning ideology of America. Reason and logic are on the chopping block. Well, we have a reason and logic here, and we're not chopping them up. But yes, I could get that. Yeah.
I agree. Very good point.
Very good point.
Blah, blah, black sheep. Thank you for your $10. We can't let them have it. You may think this is woo-woo, but there are forces at work. It's just like Muhammad traveling into the land of Israeli tribes. There were 3 main tribes, not anymore. Okay. All righty. Okay. Susan, thank you for your $10. What do we do when our city council rep says she's scared to come to our community meetings? You put her out. Felicia Porter refused police escort. Meanwhile, our community association president has been confronted. What the hell? You put her out. You vote her out. She's been there a long time. She's quite comfortable. Okay. Don't let her bully you or with her academies. You vote her ass out. That's what you do. If she can't come to your community that she's supposed to represent, even with police escort, which they all can get, and some of them do have, you vote her out.
Listen, drag her first before you guys vote her out. What you do is you get yourself a big old piece of cardboard and you cut out a stick person and write her name on a tag and stick it on there and prop her ass up in the chair and say, since the real one won't come, we'll talk to the dummy, and go ahead and pelt her with questions. It will get you the news coverage that you need to make sure that people know that your elected representative refuses to represent you. You have to think outside the box. And sometimes you got to get a little ignorant with folk before they think that you really mean business. Because if it's just a thing of her not coming and you guys squawking about it, it's not going to make enough noise to move the needle. Do something outside of the box. We did that to a candidate here who refused to debate. His refusal to debate, we played Where's Waldo? Everywhere I went, there was a cardboard cutout of this dude. Where's Waldo? And it became the story of the election. Do the same thing. Cost you about $10, but the bounce you'll get in the media will be infinite.
All right. Absolutely. Well, folks, let's move along here. breaking news out today, the jobs report. Okay. The jobs report came out today, and it was a solid report showing momentum far better than the weak forecast tied to prior policies, to drag inflation and uncertainty. But there's some people that are still complaining. The media. Take a look. This is clip one.
Unemployment rate has been steady at 4.3%. The black unemployment rate has been 7.3%. When you ran for president, you courted black voters and talked about what you described as black jobs. How do you describe why this disparity is happening? What can you do to close that?
Well, we're doing very well with the black jobs, African American jobs. I saw some numbers that we're doing really well. But where we're really going to do well is when all these plants are open. We're building many car plants. We're bringing cars back from Germany. We're bringing, we lost the car industry years ago. 54% of the industry went to Germany, Japan, Canada, Mexico. It's all coming back. It's amazing. And where your black worker is really going to do well is when those factories open. So I think they're going to be great. We've been doing well. It's been a big focus for me. Yeah, please.
All right. So, folks, this is a segment that you're going to want to you want to save, okay? Because we're going to fact check this. All right. So the first off, this jobs report was very good. All right. But they're talking about the black unemployment rate, which stands currently at 6.6% compared to 3.8% for whites, 3.8% for Asians, and 5% for Hispanics. Okay. Black workers face roughly 1.7 times higher unemployment than whites and Asians in the latest numbers. But guess what? This is a historical trend. All right. Black and white unemployment gap has persisted for decades, consistently, 2 times since at least 1954. All right. We're going to talk about why that is. But what is your thoughts on this, Nicole, and what this reporter asked?
So what the reporter was asking for is what we've been fighting against, a carve out for a particular class of people, for a particular set aside for them. Here's the thing. All of our unemployment numbers will plummet with some of the social programs being capped, forcing you to work, forcing you out of the shadows and into a job. And what the president is saying, all of these very good paying manufacturing jobs that left to go to cheaper places are coming home. Once those factories stand up, these people who are being forced off of social programs will have opportunities that they did not have before. The job numbers were tremendous. The expectation was about 80,000 jobs. They delivered 172,000 jobs. By everybody's stretch of imagination, it's fantastic. But what we do know is that this gap, this disparity among these segmented groups is just the way that America functions. It is simply nothing new, the way it always has been. However, the president says just because that's the way it's always been, it doesn't necessarily mean the way it needs to stay. What he's doing is bringing manufacturing jobs home. This means people who haven't worked in a long time, people who decided to, I'm just going to have a baby, I'm going to live in HUD housing, live off of welfare 5-6 years, and then we'll see what the market does. There are people who make those decisions. And as those people are pushed back into the market, they have to have a job to go to that's better than McDonald's, that's better than Popeye's fried chicken. Manufacturing jobs are that. They teach you how to do the work. They pay good wages. They even have health insurance and 401ks and retirement plans and all of these wonderful things. It will help. It's just a matter of time. And I think he's on the right track. To see our nation grow so many jobs inside of a month is tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. The economy is booming.
All right. Yeah, Shelley, what are your thoughts on that exchange?
Yeah, let me say what I think it is largely. It is the social welfare programs, Nicole, you're right. But I think it's nigger culture. That's what I think. I think Black people, in this case, Black men with the unemployment rate, they are not looking for work. Okay, that's where we get the labor force participation rate. You have to be looking for work. And then I'm going to say 9 times out of 10, you will find work. Now, is it your dream job? Probably not. But if you need to feed yourself, your family, maybe, your kids, then a job is where you need to start. one that's going to pay you. Okay. So I think it's nigger culture. What do I mean by that? I'm not saying just black people. Again, let me say that for the disclaimer, because I'm not just saying all black people or the black people are niggers. I'm saying nigger culture, it's a mindset. It's an attitude. And the attitude basically says, oh, I can wake up in the morning, let's say a Tuesday, Monday morning, and lollygag around with my hoodies and go out with my homies on the corner, pants halfway down your ass, whatever, 90-degree outside, and you got on a whole full damn black sweatsuit, okay? And whatever other culture goes with that. That's the mentality. Middle of the day, 11 o'clock, you waking up, your nappy head ain't even combed, ain't brushed your teeth. That's nigger culture, okay? That's what I mean. And people are going back and forth to work, and you're looking like, why are these young people out here in the middle of the day? Why are they not doing something productive? That's what nigger culture is. So they're not looking for work. They're probably being supported by some of the women who may get the social benefits, right? Mm-hmm. If not, they probably on their mother's titty. She's still milking out, giving them milk because they're home and, my baby this and my baby that. That's what it is, nigger culture. They're not looking for work. Now, having said that, there still will be some who are unemployed. I'll say, quote unquote, rightfully unemployed. They want to work. Maybe they haven't for whatever reason, but by and large, young people, and in this case, black men, the labor force participation rate is less than white because many people are not looking for work. That's it. In my never to be humble opinion.
No, I agree with you, Shelley. These numbers scream, a deeper, cultural reality, and it's not these whole, how we hear these systemic excuses. All right. And we talk about this all the time on this show, the fatherlessness, the education breakdown in these blue cities, crime and incarceration barriers, behavioral and cultural factors, that nigger culture that you mentioned. All of that are driving forces behind why the black unemployment has been historically higher than other segments, okay? And the BLS and labor studies point to measurable differences. It's not just racism, as the left tries to point out. Exactly. We know particularly in cities like Baltimore, where the education is you have large amounts of elementary and middle school kids who can't read. So what happens then when you have a large amount of kids who can't read and write and communicate? They're not going to get hired. All right. Then the family structure is totally messed up with the fatherlessness. That strongly predicts worse education, crime involvement, labor attachment, and higher unemployment. And this stuff is happening in these blue cities. Okay. So as you mentioned, that is why we have blacks overrepresented in these areas. And it's cyclical. It's generational. Mm-hmm.
It's what it's been. And that, I applaud the president for actually saying what he said. Yeah. He's saying, listen, we realize that there's a certain segment of our population across the board, black, white, indifferent, makes no difference. There's a certain group of people who are always going to be parasitic, who are going to suck the life out of the people who work hard for a living. I have 4 jobs, plus I don't even want to tell you about my volunteer life, right? Everybody on this show has at least 3 jobs, at a minimum 3 jobs. But there are people who would look at people like us and say, I don't know, girl, why are you working yourself to death? Why are you doing it? You could be on this aid, you could be on that aid, you could collect this, that, and the other thing, go back to school and get a JD, go back to school and they'll pay for this, they'll pay for that. So there's a certain segment of all population that sees America not as an opportunity to grow and build something beautiful, but more of America an opportunity to stay your butt at home and not do much because other people are out there getting it for you. We saw a viral video last summer of a boy who came to his mother and told her that he wanted to get a part-time job. And she told him in no uncertain terms, he can't get a job because he's going to ruin her benefits. Mm. What about the rest of us? We're going to lose our housing. I'm going to lose food stamps. You don't work. We don't work. No one in our family works. And I don't know where you're getting this from, but don't come home with this again. Imagine that young man now. Imagine what he thinks life is supposed to be. That is the segment of the population that the president is talking to when he says these good jobs are coming back. Right. These good jobs are coming back so you don't have to depend on the handouts of others. And as an American citizen, and I'm going to say this and people can feel how they want to feel about it, we're way too generous. We're way too generous with people who are afraid to get their hands dirty. People who say, I'm too good to work at McDonald's. I'm too good to work on a road project and sweep up gravels or whatever else. You do what you have to do. You have to crawl before you walk before you run. Do what you need to do to feed your family. And that's honorable work. And people will look at you differently. There's a point of pride in having something to do.
Interestingly, can I tell this little story again? I got little stories tonight. Can I tell? So
you guys want to stay on 2-3 hours tonight? Let's do it.
No, it won't be. It won't be.
KJ's like, oh, we're gonna talk. Let's do it.
No, this is a story that kind of resonates with Nicole. I'll say a friend, an associate, just asked me a couple weeks ago. This was a female. She needs a job, but then she's offered a job. This is what she's gonna tell me. Well, if I take the job, I won't be able to finish my school. I said, wench, you didn't finish it when you were working at the other job before you got fired from there. What the hell do you mean? You were working there and what do you mean? That's not your priority. Your priority is you getting a job. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? It just doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't. It really doesn't. But we are in a society today where people believe that this whole educational, I don't even know what you would call it. That's the way to go. These intellectuals, who really, it doesn't benefit anybody. They don't do anything but talk, and that's what people want. That's where we're pushing society, particularly women. Women.
It's their claim to fame.
All these degrees and
all the degrees, intellectuals, and the crazy thing is I preferred you home cleaning and cooking in your house. Honestly, that did more for people, to me, for our country, for our community, for our families, than you have these pseudo intellectuals with all these doctorates and all this type of stuff, stupid degrees that do nothing.
I'm glad you
can't have a conversation with them anymore. They're so intellectual that they're uninteresting.
I'm glad you said this. I'm glad you said it correctly, KJ, because here's a Shelley stat. When I hear people with all these degrees and they cannot even correctly pronounce doctorate, something ain't right. Let them tell me, oh, I have a doctor's degree. Really? And say that again. I have a doctor's degree. Wait a minute. You went through all of that schooling and you cannot correctly pronounce the name of your degree. Oh no, you are a fool and you think I am.
Yeah.
So funny. Yeah. KJ said, you may think yourself well educated, but can you make a biscuit? Can you make a biscuit from scratch? You got any skills? You got any skills? Because let me tell you, this is the cornerstone. I have these really great conversations with some men in my life, and it really, especially my nephews, they crack me up. They say, what kind of woman are you looking for? What are you looking for? One of my nephews has been in a very long-term relationship since they graduated from high school. Wonderful couple, saved, they get a beautiful future. They like to travel. So I asked them each, what are you looking for, in a wife, someone that you want to build your life with? Not one time have they said, oh, she's got to have an advanced degree. You know what they said? Well, she has to cook because, I get hungry coming home from work. She has to be nice because I want to have children. She has to know her Bible because I'm going to need somebody to pray over me. Very practical things, what young men are looking for. And then you have the girls who are saying, no, I need to have a PhD and this and this and this, because they think it's going to get them a different type of life by having this advanced degree. It will definitely get you more student loan debt. Make no mistake. You're going to come with an advanced degree and an advanced student loan debt. But with that said, what does the outlook for the rest of your life look like? I think it's a very valid question that you asked, KJ. I think you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and the thing about it is all this degree, all this schooling that they have a conversation with these people. Okay, they're arrogant, they're egotistical, know nothings. They swear they know everything. They swear they're the biggest head in the room and things, and they know nothing. They're very you can't they have no type of social skills generally. You know, it's annoying. And I've been around them for too long, so I certainly understand, particularly the women. Particularly the women.
They replaced a lot of the men in a way.
Right?
They replaced
They have, but I think it's, it's worth saying that certain professions require that you have a certain degree, and that's not what we're arguing. And in some cases, having degrees add zeros on the back of your paycheck. I know it does for mine.
Right.
Having certain things when you work with a certain type of people absolutely makes you more money. But as women, we do have to strike that balance, because it's one thing to get out here and chase this money and build yourself a nice life. But what happens to your family? What happens to, your marriage, your children? And I know it sounds very sexist, because I'm talking about specifically women, but men ask themselves those questions too. Am I going to have an opportunity to see my children grow up? I have some very, very good friends who are incredibly wealthy, who work very hard in their lifetime. And they all say, we do a little get together on Father's Day. They all say, I had to balance between making the money and raising the children. My children needed me, so I had to hire a team of people that could help while I was at home with my kids. We have to strike that balance in America again. That's the only way we're going to change our culture long term.
Absolutely. Folks, sound off in the chat and let us know what you think. All right. We were talking about the jobs numbers that came out, which were absolutely phenomenal. Certainly surpassed all of the anticipated goals. But and we were saying how, some people were complaining about them. Well, not everybody is upset with President Trump, okay? And believe it or not, some liberals are excited about what they're actually seeing in DC. All right, so take a look at this next clip. A Democrat in DC is saying how she hates to say it, she hates to admit it, but the reflecting pool in DC is gorgeous, and she gives the props to President Trump. This is clip 3.
Thought it was a stupid idea to paint the reflecting pool, but y'all, it looks good. It actually looks really good. Like, it makes the reflection look extraordinarily prominent in a way that it did not look before, and I hate that.
Okay. And you see where she said, I hate that. Charlie, what are your thoughts?
Look, I'll give credit where credit is due. I give her the credit that she even came on, made it her point virtually and virally. So that's fine. Look, clean up the place. You know how your grandmother used to say, you might not have much, but just clean up what you do have, and it looks that much better. Okay, same thing here. The monument, the reflecting pool, the mall. It's a national treasure. It's been cleaned up. It looks great. I'll just give this lady. I'm not gonna bash her tonight.
Yeah. Nicole,
I'm gonna bash her a little bit.
Yeah, you look like you.
Yeah. If she's sick by the reflecting pool, honey, just stay there. Don't walk around town where you can walk safely with your $3,000 dog you got under your arm, Miss Ma'am. You can walk safely, and you don't have to worry about being shot, stabbed, raped, maimed, beaten because people think you have just maybe $10 more than they do. You don't have to walk around huge crowds of teenagers who are pillaging stores and flipping cars and fighting police officers. The word you're looking for is thank you. That's what you're looking for. Thank you for your service, sir. When you walk into the capital of other nations, let me tell you, pristine, shiny, clean. Now, the rest of the nation might smell like a foot, but the capital city is a reflection of the people. For a very long time, DC did not reflect the American people. It did not. Even some of the newer statues, like the Rock, the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial, it's newer. But it too was getting a little iffy. And it's just because of normal wear and tear. Like, no one's destroying these statues, but you have to clean and maintain. And the Parks Department does a great job of doing what they can do. But for a long time, there was just no push to make DC shine, to make DC look like the American people. It is a point of pride. Now, today is the last day to register for that Mega Strong Fitness workout right in front of the Lincoln Memorial. Today is the last day to register. It is free to come and work out. If you would like to get a t-shirt, it's going to cost you $26. But come and work out. And after you finish working out for that 45 minutes, an hour, on June 28th, I got the date right, Shelley, I'm going to tell you what, walk around town, because you can do so safely. Look at the architecture in our capital city. Look how beautiful and clean it is. Go to Malcolm X Park and look at these fountains that haven't been on in more than 2 decades. It's absolutely beautiful. And it is a reflection of us and of you. Thank you, President Trump. It's good. We're going to choke on the words. Yeah. But honey, thank you is the word you're looking for. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Thank you, President Trump. And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Okay. You see how we have President Trump. He's cleaning up DC. All right. And a lot of times these Republican people in office, they do these types of things. And you have everyone benefits from it. Yes. All right. And even in areas where, a lot of leftists and liberals and Democrats, they'll leave the filth that the Democrats like to squalor in and move to red states where it's clean and safe. Okay, this is what they do. They make me sick, honestly. Even her. I mean, she it pains her to give President Trump the credit. Well, leave. Why are you there? Leave. It makes sense, as you said, Nicole, for the capital city, even in Hunger Games, okay? You go, the capital was the area that was beautiful, all right? This is just how it is all across the world. Our capital should be the same. So I'll say for everybody, thank you, President Trump. You're doing a great job. Mm-hmm. What is this? We have what is the chat? I know the chat is going off about this.
I see. We have some super chats here. So Jessica says, "Thank you, Jessica. Do veterans get discounts at the P&P merch shop?" I'm not sure about that, but I know sometimes they have sales. So sometimes we do have sales going. So keep checking it out, Jessica. Also, Blah Blah is back. Thank you for your $10. Hey, sorry, I realized my comment wasn't clear. KJ stated, let them have it. I meant it's really all working towards Islam. It's subtle, but the Democrats and leftists are useful to the radicals. Yeah, the Islamists. Yeah, we talk about that a lot, Blah Blah. Thank you for that. Thank you for that clarification.
Yes.
We have Christian Fitzgerald. Thank you for your $5. Oh, Shelley for president, KJ for vice, Nicole for attorney general.
I'll be locking them up. Lock them up.
The hard way. 3 the hard way.
Right. 3 the hard way. Yes, indeed.
Christian Fitzgerald, you should watch our new show.
Oh, yes.
Yes. The Right Verdict. Then where I really put my attorney general hat on. Let me tell you, we had our first episode last night.
And it was so good, if I must say myself.
It was wonderful. We had a blast going over details. We chopped it up. We got down in the dirt about the race question, the culture question, all the legal questions, the Batson challenge. If you missed it, go over to the channel and watch it, because I'm going to tell you, it was phenomenal. Our jurors, these are our membership people, did a great job. The chat was on fire. Next Thursday's show, I'm going to tell you, with all the moving pieces that just happened today in court, pop you some popcorn and pour you a glass of red wine. It's going to get real.
While you're in that chat room, everybody keep looking in the chat, because our producers are putting in links. Remember, we also have a website, metroconservativemedia.com. We have several shows on the platform now. Of course, you're here tonight with Poppin' Politics. Tomorrow, Saturday at 6:30 p.m. or, as I like to say, 18:30. And KJ always say, "Why you gotta use military time?" But anyway, so tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, Just the Guys is on. That's our brother station. Is that what we call it? Our brother station. Also on I'm going to get it right. Thursdays and Sundays is Christian Conservative. You'll see KJ and Michelle. Of course, Thursdays as well, we have our new inaugural, our maiden voyage, as we were told last night, The Right Verdict, with us three here talking about some true crime cases or certainly some really important legal matters. And also just come on back. We're going to keep coming back. Go to our website. We also have a Discord link. Look out for that in the chat as well. And we have our merch. You saw that earlier. Our producers are going to drop that in the chat. But all I want to say, after saying all of that, is we could not do it without you and your support. So thank you.
Yes, indeed. And folks, if you believe in us and independent conservative media matters, this is the moment to help us build it, folks. You know, the left, they have corporate media, they've got universities, they've got Hollywood, the nonprofit galore, they got activists and billionaire funded machines. We have each other. We've got you guys, you know. And so tonight, folks, and every night, but tonight particularly, as we open up this month of June, the super chats help us keep this platform growing, you know, loudly, independent, and unbought. So folks, again, your super chats go a long way and we appreciate your support. All right. So we got some more topics coming for you guys, and we got a great close tonight. I know we've been complaining a lot, but this close we have tonight is going to make you smile. But before we get there, let's talk about this new ad. I don't know if you would call it an ad. I would say an announcement that the Baltimore City mayor has put forward recently. Okay, he is advocating for fathers to do a stroller walk. Okay, to actually support. I guess he's trying to sound the alarm on fatherlessness. But take a look and let us know what you think. This is clip 5.
It's Mayor Brandon Scott and Councilman Paris Gray, and we want to invite y'all to our Father Stroller Walk on June 18th from 5 to 7 at the Silburn Arboretum.
Fathers, this is our opportunity and our chance to step up. We're here to show out and show up. Make sure you come out, celebrate the true power of community and fatherhood.
So, bring your kids, bring your stroller and their favorite snacks, and we'll see you at the Father Stroller Walk.
All right, so there you saw it. Again, that was Mayor of Baltimore City, and they are, you know, trying to spotlight Black fathers. So, Shelley, what do you think about it?
They look like two wuss pussies in line at Starbucks getting a latte with cream and caramel drizzle on top. That's what they look like. I mean, we know from there, we know who's actually nursing the babies, okay? They look like bitches. That's what they look like. Now, I'm not mad at fathers. I know fathers stroll the babies and fathers should be nurturing their children. But to make a commercial promoting father stroll walk, bullshit. I want the father to take the baby, maybe hold the baby a little bit, and I want him to use his other hand to grab his balls to make sure they're still there. That's what I want him to do, okay? While he's walking, checking to make sure his junk is still there. They look like bitches. That's what they look like. It's embarrassing. I know Mayor Scott, I always call him a little bitch anyway, but now it is confirmed. They have made the confirmation for me.
Nicole, what are your thoughts? I mean, do you see them as, I guess, what Shelley was describing, bitch yappers? Or are they strong dads?
They're giving me Chihuahua vibes. You know, a lot of bark, no bite. Just yep. They're giving me the same thing. But listen, there's a lot of work to do from a Black fatherhood perspective. And if he thinks that this is moving the needle by having them come out with their kids and some snacks for one day, maybe in his mind it's enough. But there are a lot of ways that you can positively impact fatherhood in the Black community. Lots of ways that you can do that does not involve a camera and boost your political aspirations. This smacks of desperate. This smacks of I'm trying to bump up and I'm going to use these images of Black men walking around with their children to pad my political influence. And I find it absolutely reprehensible, as Shelley has said so eloquently. It is absolutely Chihuahua energy. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I guess I agree for a different point. I feel like this is just the push to feminize men. And then on the other hand, when you see them speaking to young women, they're telling them to get out in the workforce and they're demonizing stay-at-home moms. And when I say they, I mean the left. So it's a backwards sort of thing for me. And so when I look at the context surrounding the messaging behind what they're doing, it's just backwards, and it's just it's sad. It really is.
Now you see why the women, like we just said with the degrees, the women are replacing the men's roles in a sense, because you got bitches like that. Okay, you want to go to the park in the middle of the day. Then we just sit here and talk about young men on the streets in the middle of the day doing nothing. You got to go get your baby and put his throat in. Fathers, man, suck down that damn latte with the caramel drizzle and just go ahead and be the damn feminine bitch that you look like.
You know, it's funny that KJ, I think you hit the nail on the head when you were talking about the switching of the genders. I have this conversation with men that all the time, I mean, again, with the nephews, with these young men in my life, talking about traditional roles and why it works. And this is a shameless plug for a friend of the show, gentleman scholar Delano Squire's new book coming out June 16. Get a copy, buy two, give one to a friend. You can pre-order it on Amazon. But let me tell you right now, he talks about traditional family roles and why it works. Why does it work when men act like men in relationships and women act like women in relationships, and fathers and mothers do their traditional jobs? Mothers nurture. It's in our DNA. It's the way that God intended for it to be. So all of this role reversal foolishness, again, this is that liberal Democrat logic where women rule the roost and men are just there to, to pick up the pieces. And it is absolutely Chihuahua energy.
Yeah. And we talk about this a lot on Christian Conservative. It's diabolical. It's a reversal of God's design for us. And this is what they try to do. This whole traditional, it's strong father and a strong mother and children raised with order, discipline, faith. That's the way to go. But when they try to, feminize men, it makes weaker communities. When they're trying to push masculinity on women, it creates division between men and women, and so we see this within this whole modern feminism. These women, they're told that softness and being, traditional homemakers and things like that is wrong. They shouldn't do that. They should go to the workforce. And again, I'm not saying that's for everybody. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying women can't work. I'm not saying that. But what we're seeing in society today is the demonization of that. And that's where I take, issue with.
Right. Do you all remember? I don't know if it's still in the market. I should Google it. Maybe somebody can Google it in the chat. Years ago, they had this I don't know, some kind of machination where the male, the dad, can wear this contract.
Oh yeah, with the boobs
and like the fake boobs, and put milk in it so they can pretend like they're nursing the baby. Well, I mean, they might as well just go buy that and put it on. That's what they look like. Okay, I'm not even saying that Brandon Scott and that councilman, I'm not saying that they're not important to their families, their children. Brandon Scott, he is married now. He has a couple of kids now. I applaud that. We've seen him grow up. Really, we literally have seen him grow up in Baltimore. But that particular ad makes them look like they want a latte with caramel drizzle and whipped cream. Yes, but that's what it looks like. They look like bitches.
Yeah. All right. Stand off in the chat, folks. Let us know what you think. Are we being too harsh? Are we taking this the wrong way? Do you think that it wasn't so bad, or you think that maybe we're misreading the ad? Let us know what you think. It looks like we have some additional super chats.
All right. Who do we have?
Or do we get them all?
I think we may have then. Okay.
Kat M said something very profound in our chat. Kat said, feminism has neutered the men and they no longer know how to be a strong father figure.
Yeah.
And I think that's very true. I think, as a society, we've put such um, a gold sticker, a gold star on strong women that we've forgotten what it looks like to be a strong man. All the pushes to be the bad bitch, the boss chick, you
Wouldn't
very rarely hear.
that ad, I think, would have been much better had they said, "Hey, come on out, bring the kids, hang out with the dads and fathers at the arboretum on whatever day that is. Come on, we can play some ball, cook some burgers on the grill, something
Right,
like
in
that."
front of a grill.
That's a more masculine look if you're going to have fathers do it. I get it. That's Father's Day, and I know they want to promote that, but don't promote Father's Day by looking like the mom. Just like we don't want Mother's Day to be saying everybody, happy Mother's Day. If you, all that stuff is twisted. No.
Right. It's so crazy. Single women celebrating Father's Day saying that, they're a mother and the father to the child.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, you see that all the time. It is ridiculous how we've allowed our culture to not progress, because they all say that. The liberals say, oh, well, this is just progress. And we're moving toward, a flatter universe where men and women are interchangeable. That's not how God designed it. We should not be moving away from the will of God. We should just
and they're not interchangeable.
Mm-hmm. Right. Absolutely not.
And how about celebrating marriage? This is what I don't understand. This is my issue. And I want to talk to Delano about this. We only see them celebrating fathers or mothers, not marriage. And we're seeing that young people are turning against it. They're not getting married. They're choosing to have babies before they have a husband. And that's another reason why, particularly the Black communities, are falling apart. You can't do it on your own, folks. Mm-hmm. You can, but it's going to be a lot harder. I don't care who you are. It is hard to raise a family on your own. Okay. Yep. But and we used to say that, but now we're pushing people to choose that. And it's backwards. It is backwards. All right. So that's just my 2 cents. Sound off in the chat, folks. Let us know what you think. All right. So we not got to talk about this next story. This is actually a nice story. It made me smile, almost brought tears to my eyes. So the West Virginia University Mountaineers baseball team and fans broke out into massive emotional sing-along, folks, just recently. All right. This is beautiful. Immediately after their win, the entire stadium, players, coaches, thousands of fans broke out into song. Broadcasters called it one of the most incredible scenes they'd ever witnessed. You got to take a look at this. This is clip 7. Wow. Mm-hmm. All right. And that, of course, was Country Roads. And it's a sacred a West Virginia youth tradition. It was started in football under Rich Rodriguez, played it only after wins, and it's become a viral symbol of Mountaineer pride and small town America unity. So, Nicole, what do you think about that?
I love it. I love the song. I'm a big baseball fan. Well, I'm a big sports fan, but I do love, smaller marketplaces have really kitschy things like that just kind of make you bond better as a group. Bond better as a group. You guys know I grew up in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is still very much my hometown. I absolutely love the city. Love the city. And if you've ever been to a Steeler game, you know what happens in the third quarter. We have a special song that we play. Y'all Ravens fans know. Yeah. Y'all play with me. Play with me, KJ. Play with me, KJ.
No, what is it?
Do you want me to sing?
Go ahead, sing a verse.
No, I ain't
a line or two.
I'm not gonna sing a line or two either. Y'all had me going when I was singing the song with West Virginia. But what I'm saying here is Renegade is the name of the song. Okay. People call it Oh Mama, right? Because that's what the first few bars is just them saying Oh Mama. But it does something. It motivates the team. It motivates the fan. You see the terrible towels swirling. It's just a way to bond everybody together. And, West Virginia has that. I think Utah has a song. It just really brings people together. And we need more of that. What used to bring America together, the Pledge of Allegiance and My Country 'Tis of Thee and America the Beautiful. Hell, even Sweet Caroline. You know, there are certain songs that just really bring people together in a way. Music has that effect in a way that words just can't. So this absolutely beautiful to see people bonded over the music. It makes my heart just kind of pitter patter. And like KJ, I was a little moved, just a little bit moved, wanted to cry a little tear. But I think it's beautiful and wonderful.
Yeah. Shelly, what do you think?
I love that. It is very touching. It's fun. It's sort of, you can feel it. You can just feel, the camaraderie there, the brotherhood, if you will. But it reminds me of like when I travel, or even sometimes, home locally. You know what I like to do? I call it we call it the little hole in the wall restaurants or pit stops or burger joints. Not only is the food great, but the people and the atmosphere. Don't get me somewhere where you can find they still have an old little jukebox there, kind of like from the outside, you would think, I don't want to go in there. But those are some of the best places to meet, eat, greet people across the country. They are what I call real people in real time, in real life. They're just down home, what we used to call just good folk, just good down home folk, right? Color is not an issue. You go in there and have fun. Sometimes the music is like, this is a little too country for me, but you have fun, music, dancing, and just being nice tends to do that with people.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Well, that does it for us tonight. All right. We will be back on Monday night at 9 p.m. Again, tomorrow, check out Just the Guys podcast. They'll be on at 6:30 p.m. at Just the Guys podcast. They're bringing you a male view of all things. And then on Sunday, you can catch me and Michelle. We're coming back for you guys. We've been on a little hiatus, but we're going to be back on at KJ Christian Conservative. We are talking about the viral video about the huge YouTubers who went online talking about how they aborted their Down syndrome baby, 5 months old. We're going to break it down. We got breaking news about that. So we're going to talk about that on Sunday at KJ Christian Conservative at 9 p.m. All right. That does it for us tonight. Have a great weekend. We're expecting 90 degrees and above here in Maryland and the DMV.
You know what, KJ? Stop praying for this heat.
It was actually a nice day because it wasn't humid.
Oh, no. Hot. It does not matter if it feels like a blow dryer or a steamer. Hot is hot. Y'all don't know. I'm out here in these streets fighting for my life.
It's summer, Nicole. It's gonna be hot.
It's sizzling, and the first thing out my mouth, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, "Ooh, this damn KJ."
LJ, I'm with you now. LJ, I don't care what it is. Vegas is hot.
Yes, Vegas is ridiculously hot. I like going to Vegas in February. It's a nice time to go to Vegas. But KJ, stop praying for this doggone heat.
Give it to me. 100, 102. I don't mind it at all. I don't mind.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
No boy.
Yes, have a good weekend. Until next time, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.
Good night, guys.